Welcome back to Village Green for the week of May. What's it today?
The 22nd.
Wow.
22nd. Friday, May 22nd. Wow, we've been doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Poole and Benny Benack.
How you doing?
Hello.
What's going on in quarantine for you guys? And don't worry, we're all socially distanced. We all have masks on. And we're doing it the right way. So what's been going on?
Well, I'm wearing my the debut of my BB3 tee. So I got some merch rolled out for a little quarantine
For all the gigs.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, a little quarantine. I was just having a conversation on the phone with a friend the other day, and she was saying how interesting it is seeing the different ways all these musicians, like artistic and creative, expressive output has been channeled into like very interesting ways, because we all have this energy inside of us and it's all manifesting itself. Some people are doing videos, people are doing concerts in their bedrooms, people are like buying mixing equipment and becoming producers. Like, I think in a way we're actually all kind of developing these cool other skills that when the world becomes normal again, we'll be able to like, be beast mode.
Yeah.
Right. What about you, KP?
Well, speaking of, I've been doing a plethora of things, actually.
A plethora. I love it.
Of things. I've been learning French. I do.
Vraiment?
Oui.
Ah, très impressionnant.
I've been doing at least an hour a day of French, which has been great. I've been running a lot. I've been doing some intermittent fasting.
Ooh.
Me too. It's called not being able to afford food. I'm intermittent fasting. Jesus.
And as Benny said, those of us that are out there trying to gain new skills, I've started up Logic and bought some equipment and trying to turn my basement into a studio, and we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, exactly.
So actually, I like this life in a certain way.
I like this life. Well, that's fantastic. I think a lot of like Benny said, everybody's being creative about it, but a lot of musicians are doing the same thing where they're getting their home studio stuff on point and the online thing and everything like that. And I mean, what else really can you do? But I don't know. What do you think? First of all, a lot of people are, everybody's glued to the news, so people have an idea of what New York's like. But you guys have stayed here through the whole thing, so give people an idea of what it's actually like day to day.
Kyle, you just left your block for like the first time in 2 months. You should talk about it.
Well, I mean, honestly, I forgot that we were in the city. Until
Really?
Yeah, it's so funny. Like Benny picked me up this morning on those new, what are they called?
Well, it's like a Vespa kind of vibe, like
Yeah.
a slow motorcycle.
Kind of like rent
Right.
Vespas that are circling around
It's
New
very
York right
European.
now, which
It's
is great.
very, very European.
Yeah, I love them.
I
but-
love them.
But he picked me up in it, and I was kind of just in the same kind of like vibe I've been in every day. And as soon as we got like past 110th Street going down Central Park West, I was just like, oh my God, like
Yeah, man.
I can't believe this is where I've been. Like, I can't believe that I'm still in the city, and I just got so excited. Which that goes to say, I haven't really left Harlem in 2.5 months, and I've just kind of been in my own space and quarantined and seen the people that live close to me, like Emmett and Russell, who live 1 block away.
Yeah, and you guys have been doing the trio broadcast. What's the vibe been like with that Emmett Cohen trio?
It's been great. It's been a great opportunity to, because there's not many working bands that have the opportunity to like still play during these times, and like we're learning a lot of new material. We're adding different things to the book. People have been very generous. People have been sending wine. People have been sending rosé. People have been sending special brownies. Maybe we might want to cut
That's
that out.
No, it's a tradition. We always
Jazz-
take brownies on
fucking
Russell's
jazz
birthday. Man, anyone that listens to this, if you really want a good time, you can go to the Smalls archives for Russell's 21st birthday when we all took brownies. I used to play this gig on the Upper West Side next to the Beacon Theater. You guys both played that gig a million times with me. And the gig was like, 8 to 10:30 or something. So at like 8 o'clock, we all got these brownies. And we were playing me, Emmett, I think Russell, and maybe Mark, Whitfield Jr. We were all playing the session at Smalls at like 1:30 that night. It might even been like subbing for one of y'all or something.
It was the other thing where I think Emmett had another night of the week.
Okay,
for a second. And I remember Joe Sanders. And
no,
Mark
but I was hosting it, so it had to be that I was subbing for one of y'all. Because the only time I hosted the session was when you guys would hit me up. Because Beacon Bar was Tuesday nights. So it was one of y'all.
Remember, you could get that sandwich with the chips that was like really happening.
Yeah, little sliders. So we did that.
Not the sliders, the other with the bacon. It was like the BLT. It was like the anyway.
Riveting stuff here.
Come on, you know that.
No,
was
I
good.
know.
You know that's what
Maybe it was a Cuban. Anyways, so we took the brownies at like 8 o'clock, and it was like, well, we're playing at 1:30 at Smalls. Like, we're totally gonna be fine. Played the whole Beacon gig, had a nice little claffy BLT sandwich. Like, feel totally nothing. Get on the train at like 12:30 to go down to Smalls when it hits, and all of a sudden I'm just like, and I don't really smoke that much, so I'm like heavily affected, and it hit. And like, it was cool for everyone else in the band because like, you can just kind of like be in the rhythm section and like pretend you're vibing out and being cool if you're like too high and like not play. But I was like leading the gig, and I was trying to like formulate sentences and talk, and like it was going okay. I actually think I played some cool shit. Like, I was in a different headspace. But at one point, I was singing a ballad, and I was trying to sing the head out, and I sneezed in the middle of a phrase, and then I got a laughing attack, and I couldn't stop laughing. And like, the band is just playing, like, they're playing a ballad, and I'm just like, I will find a cute like it's on the archives. You can see the video, you can hear it. It's like a nightmare replaying before my eyes every time. And then I was so paranoid that everyone in Smalls knew I was too high. Everyone was judging me. Everyone could tell I was making a mockery of it. I would never play Smalls again. Spike would hate me. I freaked out. And then the other thing that was, I was on the mic and I was like, everybody, it's Russell Hall's 21st birthday. And like, Russell had been drinking at Smalls for like years. So I just
maybe we want to cut that out.
That part was
that's going to get edited out.
The long and short of it is, I got too high on the brownie. So a tradition was born, and you got to have a special brownie on Russell's birthday.
Yeah.
Wow, congrats. The audience won't know what it is, but Benny gets the first edit on the Village Green podcast.
So anyways, that was my night with Christina Aguilera.
Yeah. Definitely not what we edited. Man,
those were soulful days.
Those were soulful days. Yeah. These are some soulful days, man. I mean, it's funny for us to
see. Benny Green tune.
These are soulful.
It's like Lee Morgan.
It's a Lee Morgan tune.
Maybe?
It's like on a Lee Morgan record.
Oh no, these are soulful days.
Dude.
Yeah.
I see, like, I can just hear like George Hyde's dad being like, "Oh, Kyle, these are soulful days. Lee Morgan's so godly."
I forgot.
I wonder if George Hyde's gonna hear
Deep cuts. We'll send it to him.
Yeah, we'll send it to him. He'll be into it. Hyde Pro Audio. Shout
go.
out to Hyde Pro Audio.
Sponsored by.
Yeah, I wish. Help me out.
The apprentice of Rudy Van Gelder, actually.
Wow, incredible.
And he has tinnitus, and he claims that all the best sound engineers have tinnitus.
Because they just...
Oh, I have pretty bad tinnitus.
Really?
Yeah, I have like a low hum that happens like maybe like a quarter of the day.
Wow. Yeah, I have
quarter of the day?
Yeah, it comes back. It comes in and out. Like, especially if I'm somewhere silent. Like,
oh yeah,
then like it's like definitely like, oh shit.
Whoa.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
No.
I've been experiencing it more since I've been
quarantined.
No, since I've been working with Logic, because I think I'm just like I'm
listening
to frequencies more.
For everybody out there, watch out, musicians that are like just getting into the home studio thing. If you're using headphones because you're living in some apartment and you don't want to bother your friends or whatever that you live with, don't crank your headphones.
Yeah.
Why?
I've gone through that too.
Dude,
Like I've
destroy
been
yours.
working on a track and mixing something, and then, or not the podcast, but just other stuff. And then I'll go upstairs, and Alyssa would just be like, "You are shouting, like you are very loud right now." And then you just kind of work out that it's actually, you know. Well, maybe we'll play that at the end.
Speaking of tinnitus, that is,
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you know, we're all super young, and I'm sure there are older guys that are listening to this. Like,
we're super young.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying
30,
like,
dude.
the dudes who are like
30?
a little
I'm
bit,
gonna be.
the dudes who are like a little bit younger than us and just got to New York and are like living through this, you know,
Yeah.
it's really, you know, we've kind of got our footing a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, this is home at this point.
Yeah, right.
We've been here
Exactly.
10 years,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah, exactly. But what do you guys think's gonna happen with? Do you think it's gonna?
Yeah, I think we're gonna. I mean, we've already seen a lot of people dip.
Yeah,
especially
you know,
all like European cats.
All the European cats.
Yeah. Somebody said to me the other day, they were like people who had their foot halfway out the door with this industry.
Right. They'll give you a little gentle nudge,
Yeah.
you know.
I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah, no, I know you guys are hardcore. Exactly. So what do you, BB, you know, let's be like the comedians, shameless self-promotion plug. What's happening with you? You got the t-shirts, you got like a...
Claffy, you can't see it right now. He is rocking his BB3 t-shirt, so check that out. We got that on the website. I also, my big quarantine project was like a book. Like I wrote like...
That logo...
What is that, Mel Torme?
I paid a lot of money for this lady. Somebody said it looks like Frankenstein version of me, like
yeah,
Elvis
kind of
Presley.
like somebody just like sucked all the blood right out of your
Elvis
face.
Presley, yeah, God. It's like he's too skinny and he has long legs. Like I'm an elf. Like why does this guy? I'm a hobbit. Why does this guy look like he's normal proportioned
Hobbit
limbs?
of jazz, trumpet, Benack.
Yeah, but you know, I made like an exercise book, which is like everybody and their mother is like, here's my book of jazz etudes. But I wrote some original vocalese, and I thought that's something that other people haven't done. Mm-hmm. So you know, I'm talking to a graphic designer now, just like little pet projects, just anything you can do during the day, you know, to like feel like you're working towards something. Like Claff, you're like working on this record, you're like producing, putting in hours. Like Kyle, you're mixing your shit, you're recording shit with Emmett's Trio down the street like every other day. Like what you just find something that like keeps your mind sharp and like keeps you working towards something. Because I found the darkest times I've got during this have been when I didn't have anything to do for a whole day. And you just sit there, and then all of a sudden I look out the window and it's dark out, and I'm just like, where did this day go? You know, that messes me up. I find like trying to stick to a routine kind of like tricks your brain into like feeling like life is normal.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing about like trying to stay in a routine, you know, if you're doing the gig routine every day, you're not going to the gig anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So you have to kind of like change it up.
Right.
You kind of have to really, I don't know, like even. Well, you always practice late at night. So your thing is like you get up and then you kind of, I feel like you're taking care of some computer shit, and you're getting a coffee and a bagel, and then what? I'm asking. This is a question across the board for everybody that's doing the podcast. What's your daily routine like? Because I think people need help with that right now. Man.
I mean, that's
I know
it.
I do.
That's it for me. Everything just shifted. I went from like going to bed at like 4:30 under normal circumstances to like when I'm sitting on the couch watching TV or practicing and the sun starts to come up at like 5:30. I'm like, all right, let's get to bed. And then usually by 6:30 I go to bed, and I sleep till like 12:30 or 1. Snooze it until 1. And then just my day starts. So I'm a little bit like vampire-like. But you said you've been waking up. It's basically when I go to bed is like when you
we've
wake
had
up.
a couple times where like
That's
you text me
insane.
like thinking I was asleep, and I'd be like, "Get right back to you." And
Whoa.
You're like, "What?"
Why are you waking up so
I
early?
don't know. Well, I was, staying with some friends in an undisclosed location, and they were getting up really early, and that's the way they're doing it. And I'm not drinking right now, so, that's kind of part of it, too.
Yeah.
Get you up early. But last night I slept 6 hours, and I felt fully rested for some reason.
Yeah.
So I tried to get out in the sun. I did a little meditation, get up, take a walk with the mask on, of course. Get a coffee, all that stuff. What are you doing, Kyle? What's your...
Well, actually, I feel like my circadian rhythm has been fluctuating in the beginning of the quarantine.
Rhythm.
Yeah, circadian rhythm.
Fitting.
Odd meter. It's shifting meters.
Yeah, shifting meters.
What?
Leave that in.
The mic isn't gonna pick that up.
Dude, the mic is clearly picked that up.
We got a hot mic. Hot mic.
You have to leave that in.
I don't think I can do. I don't think I'm allowed to leave that in.
You didn't hear that. Nobody heard that.
Dude, they heard that. That was louder than Kyle's sentence.
Hot mic. Okay.
All right, and we're back.
That's my moods, man.
And there's the damn. You're making. I have to do a lot more work on this than I had planned.
So, anyways, that's the last time I saw Jessica Simpson.
I'm gonna leave. I think I'm gonna leave that whole thing.
Where were we?
Great. This is perfect. Penny just disrupted the whole flow of it. Your circadian rhythm.
Oh, yeah, my
your
circadian-
odd meter.
Yeah, my circadian rhythm is in 19.8 right now. But in the beginning of this quarantine, I had a schedule much alike to Benny's. I'm going to bed at 5, 6 in the morning, waking up at 2, and then I started having like some insomnia problems when I would try to get to sleep at like a normal hour.
You tell me about that.
Yeah, so now I've been going to bed around 2, falling asleep around 2:45, waking up at 10 in the morning.
Solid. That's like a perfect.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's actually nice. And you know, I'm a jazz musician. I haven't.
That's like a classic jazz musician rhythm right there.
I haven't experienced 10 a.m. since like Jazz for Young People.
Yeah, right. Get up at 10 and then you got the whole day before you.
Yeah.
Right?
I have like PTSD just you mentioning Jazz for Young People, waking up on like 2 hours sleep.
For our listeners who don't know, Jazz for Young People is a great program run by Jazz at Lincoln Center, and you go out and you bring jazz to the schools, and it's great. It keeps a lot of cats working.
No, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it
shout out to Winton.
paid my rent
Fantastic
for a
idea.
number of years, but it's just brutally early. It'll be like, okay, you have to be like way out in the Bronx at 7 a.m.
Earlier.
And so I'm like, some nights we'd be again like you too, Claffy. Like we'd be at Smalls on a Tuesday night. It'd be like 3:30. And I'd be
All
like,
right, just one more beer.
No, I'd be like, all right, okay, Kyle, I'll see you in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that.
Oh
There's a lot
yeah,
of that.
Yeah, those years.
And you know what? We were happy to do it
Yeah.
because we were working.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And then go to class or some.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you guys
It's
would
crazy,
like,
man.
you guys would go down to New School and like go
chug
to-
coffee, and like then we'd have like Andrew Cyril's ensemble with like
I
Matt
know.
Chalk and Joachim LeQuantu, who I still can't say his last name.
I wonder how he's doing, man.
He's good. I talked to him a while ago. Great piano player. Albert Baliwas. And then we go to the Tap Jam with Michaela Lerman and Theo Hill at the time. And then do it again.
Yeah.
And then you'd be so beat at the end of the Tap Jam at Smalls would be 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then at 9 you'd be so beat. And
At
then
9,
Mayburn would
Mabes,
walk in.
yeah.
And or remember that one time Marvin Boogaloo Smith? You freaked out. You were
Yeah.
like, oh,
Smitty.
He lives
Yeah.
down the street from me now, actually.
Boogaloo Smith?
Yeah, I got to go over there once.
Doesn't Ethan
moved,
Kogan live with him?
Ethan lives with him. Yeah.
he moved into New York City.
Yeah, he's been here for like a year or two
Ethan's
now.
been living with him for like a couple years.
Yeah.
Oh wow, he's amazing.
Yeah, incredible.
It was like him and Dana.
Sometimes he
Stevens.
plays the little bar, right? Like literally 1 block away from me.
Have you seen it?
Seen him play?
Yeah.
There? Yeah. I've gone. He's incredible. It's Ethan's gig, but Marvin always comes and plays a couple tunes, and he's bad.
He's deep, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, wow.
I gotta go. I really do gotta go over there and like once we get out of this quarantine, go over there and really check out what he's talking about. He's invited me, but I've just been
Marvin Boogaloo
too lazy or
Smith.
too busy.
He always posts a little video on Facebook, and my jaw just drops as soon as I see him.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah. It's a unique sound. Anyway,
because I remember you talking about him a bunch, and then there wasn't all that much stuff on the internet, so you'd have to really dig for a while. But now he's a little bit more. Yeah, so we'd hang out, and then Mabes would play, and I remember the first time we saw Mabes, it was like Farnsworth and Essiot. Woo. And then maybe somebody would do the late night, and we'd hang again, and Benny would come down. It was just kind of the
all
same.
night.
That was a moment. I mean, I remember those Tuesdays. It was like a moment in time. It was really a scene.
Well,
Like
big thanks to Spike,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you guys got like all the New School cats came out. That like Mike Stephenson would come out, Ben Katz would come out, Chalk obviously,
But you had like a crew, like Coleman would come out.
Coleman.
Like
Oh, man.
you
Coleman.
guys would have a crew every Tuesday, and it would be like, you know, that amazing thing about Smalls where like sometimes like there's more people in the club at 3 a.m. than there is
yeah.
any other point of the night. It's
Yeah.
like that's what makes Smalls like such the hub,
Yeah.
you know? And like those nights were magical, man.
Don't we miss it?
Those Tuesday nights.
Yeah, we totally miss it. But, you know, I saw Spike post a photo today. We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be.
Smalls, I feel like will be like the first, you
Gig
know,
back.
the first outpost.
Outpost,
You know,
yeah.
like if Spike, if
It's
he,
the
he
Mecca.
can do
It's the
anything,
heart.
he's gonna make it happen.
Smalls is
you
the
know?
heart.
It is the heart, you know?
Smalls is the heart of New York jazz.
It's
Like,
tragic, like all these clubs, you know,
Yeah.
what's happening, and all these businesses. I mean, just in the world right
Yeah.
now, it's totally tragic. But Smalls is the heart, man.
Yeah.
It's the cheers for
Yeah.
jazz musicians.
Yeah.
You know, it's the place that, you know. So if you see a donate link online or you're inclined to check it out, I'll use that as a good chance to plug smallslive.com.
Dude,
They're
what
also gonna.
Oh, go ahead, Kyle. Sorry.
It's okay. They're also gonna start doing
Yeah,
live stream concerts.
yeah, they announced that.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, what about like Big Orange Sheep? Like, what about Mike? Like, are the studios keeping their space and stuff?
I think they're cool. I think they're good. Yeah, I mean,
They can still kind of work.
no, they can't. A lot of studios have been.
No,
get-
man, John Kilgore, like one of the last studios that's in Hell's Kitchen, just made this post today about he's like, because of my age, I have a pre-existing condition, I can't, and the rent's $9,000 a month, and I don't think I'm gonna make it. And
Yeah.
that dude just won like 4 Grammys,
Wow.
and he's like one of the baddest in New York, and I've done so many sessions there for like Broadway cats and stuff like that. And
But
it's
the
like-
thing is, he's still gonna work. It's just the studio won't be there.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like he's had that studio since
Right,
the
right,
70s,
right,
and
right,
it's like
right.
Hell's Kitchen, like they're already all gone, you know,
Right,
like
right, right.
basically
oh my God,
Sear
there's so
Sound,
many studios that are gone.
Avatar.
I mean, those are just the ones we know.
Right.
But you hear, I mean, you read music biographies about and things about New York, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I was at Lucky 7 Studios on 38th and 6th." You're like, "What,
Now that's like a diner.
dude?" The CBS studio where they did Kind of Blue, you know, all those
Yeah.
big photos with the big ceilings. That's gone. That was had 100.
What's the one that's
100
Berkeley?
foot
What's the one
ceilings.
that like Berkeley bought and turned into like
Avatar.
Avatar? Yeah.
They
Reptar
called it-
Studios.
They call it the Power Station now, or it was called the Power Station back in the day,
Right.
maybe. But yeah, dude, so many studios.
Where's your favorite studio to record? Where's your favorite? In New York.
I guess the only ones that I've actually recorded it at is Big Orange Sheep, Samurai.
I've never done Samurai.
Samurai's dope.
I like Samurai.
Everyone
Yeah.
likes the
I like
piano.
Samurai.
Shout out to Big Orange Sheep. That's my go-to.
Yeah.
But
I did my first record there.
hell yeah,
At Big Orange Sheep. But didn't we do
Michael
a thing?
Perez Cisneros.
There's a recording somewhere. Me, you, Emmett, and Claff playing like Walking or something.
Oh yeah, we did another one
Yeah,
of
we
those
did.
sessions where we
Yeah.
recorded the whole thing and never used it. We have
Yeah.
2 of those.
Yeah.
Wow, we got some stuff in the can. Join the Alex Claffy subscription service. Claffy Gold level members will receive a never before heard bootleg of Walking.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Big Orange Sheep, Samurai, and Sear Sound. I think my favorite out of all those 3, even though I love them all, Samurai, man. I think.
Samurai's dope, and Dave Stoller's a great guy.
Dave, I think it's because of Dave.
Yeah,
that I
he's
think
great.
that-
He's a cat.
not that you know other people aren't great. Todd's great.
It's great. There's good food in the neighborhood. The vibe's cool. They got the foosball table.
Yeah,
Lawrence and I did a
Yeah.
nice record there with
Yeah.
John Dokes and Dave Gibson,
Oh, John Dokes.
and it was fun. There was a blizzard, I remember, but it was fun.
I think I've recorded there more
Oh,
than
G
everywhere
G
else,
Bluey's studio is good too. Ian Hendrickson Smith and all them record over there. Long Island City, G Blue or whatever. You know that place?
No.
No.
It's great.
Long Island City, there's a few though.
Oh, I also. Oh, there's a couple other studios too. There's
Bunker's cool.
Bunker.
Oh yeah, Bunker's great. I did Randy and Otto's last record there, and it was killer.
Man, that's pretty deep. Randy Brecker on the mic said that Claffy was like an honorary Brecker brother, and he's like, my brother Michael would have loved this guy, and like he's an honorary Brecker brother.
Oh yeah, it's something like
That's
that.
deep.
That's deep, man.
Yeah. It was really nice of them. And
If only they knew that you didn't do coke, they would have never let you be in the Brecker Brothers back in the day.
So many edits.
He would have been an
no, I
honorary
think I'm
Brecker
gonna leave
Brothers.
this all in. I think it's just to the point where
It's
it's
like
just
Claffy won't do coke. He's a pussy, so he's not really.
Oh, well, maybe
He's
that's
not
an edit.
really.
Dude,
in the-
Benny, you are gonna make me. This is gonna be
Dude, what do you want? You want a podcast of jazz musicians. You
I love
can't
it.
be a G-rated jazz musician podcast. You had Jochen Ruckert on here. You're telling me you didn't edit out Jochen?
This is a little more risque than Jochen. That's saying something. I think Benny's it's all just like held up in Benny. Ladies and gentlemen, you might hear some of the explicit stuff that just happened before. You may not, because I haven't decided if I'm gonna edit it or not. I might just put it all out.
You can actually hear the fully raw, unedited version if you join the gold subscription level of AlexClaffy.me, and you can censor it for free and then give the subscription members the X-rated version.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm definitely gonna keep
Claffreon.
Wait,
Instead
what
of
are they-
Patreon, Claffreon.
Claffreon, Patreon. What?
Club Claff.
Yeah, that's what I call my subscription service. What do they call it? Unabridged, right?
Yes.
Is unabridged the law? And then yeah, right. Couldn't remember that. The unabridged version of the podcast. Yeah, I mean I just wonder about. If you think about the scene in the village, there's so many fucking cats. A lot of the Israeli cats went home.
Yeah,
They
Gila
all
just
did.
came back though.
Gila came back.
Gila came back. I
Well-
thought that was amazing.
What's his name has been here the whole time? Itai.
Itai's been here.
Itai's
more
real.
Jake.
Yeah, he's for real.
No, but all those cats.
I mean, they're for real, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Itai is like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Itai's like Bobby Durham, man.
Yeah, or
He's
something,
like
yeah,
in a suit,
like-
like just around.
he's for real.
Yeah, that's my man. I love him.
Not
Oh,
that not
Omer's-
that everyone isn't for real.
Omer's been here too, the whole time. If I want to learn how to make hummus, I just look at Omer's Instagram and I'm just like my mouth
Nice, man.
waters. Have you been to? Have you anyway? Have
Pour myself a glass of wine.
yeah. Go pour yourself. Just don't bump the mic. There we go. This is more of an informal one. I like this. This is good. This is what people I think want and need right now because they're all trapped in their apartment. They can't hang.
Yep. And I'm good, man.
We've
Thank you.
decided that we're all quarantining together, so
Claffy,
we have a small bubble. of-
Claffy built a recording studio. R. Kelly Studios, trapped in the closet. That's Claffy.
Oh, don't say R. Kelly Studios. That's not. Me.
But really, you built that recording studio. It's like you like pushed your rack of like suit blazers to the side, and
Yeah,
like,
I did the same thing actually.
it's cool actually.
Well, I mean, then it's like Alyssa can work in here, and then we got two doors between us.
Yeah, it's like
That's the other thing is
Anne Frank
shit.
Studios. You know?
Shit.
Edit
That's
that out.
definitely got to be edited.
Man, you're just making me. I'm gonna do so much work on this shit. Yeah, because then once you start editing one part of it, then you gotta edit all of it. Anyway, no, don't hold back. Be Benny. I love it. What are cats doing for? You're lucky because you can play in your basement and nobody even hears it.
Crazy, yeah.
It's insane. For New York, it's crazy.
Unheard of.
Kyle, same thing, right? For
Oh yeah,
for
it's everything. Everything's cool. Like, well, you know, I also try to. I live in Fuyo, and I try to be considerate as much as possible. But I do live in the basement, and I just put towels on the bass drum and the toms and go to town.
You guys
It's been
have
a lot of late night shedding.
the
recently.
whole 2 floors, right?
Yeah, we have 2 floors and a backyard.
How many bedrooms is it on the first floor?
Just one,
Right, and then you're
and
in the
then
basement.
just I live in the basement, which I have the whole floor.
I mean, I've been doing these podcasts, Zoom, like, you know, releasing the ones that were in person before. Obviously, none of us have any idea, but what do you see when things come back from today? I know our views change all the time, but what do you think, like, just looking at it today?
Well, I was telling Benny earlier, like, before everything comes back, I kind of had the realization the other week that I think we're gonna see another version of like the New York jazz loft scene come back before the clubs even do. It's gonna be at people's houses. People are gonna be having concerts. People are gonna be inviting. You know, you'll be seeing, I don't know, Mark Turner and Marcus Gilmore somewhere in Brooklyn at someone's crib. You know, I think
It's
that's
like the
what's gonna happen
70s.
first. Yeah,
In the flower district.
which I'm
and all
actually
that.
kind of excited for. I'm excited to just like kind of experience that in New York. I don't know. There's a fantasy
That's like
about
there's
this,
some sort of like real artistic energy to that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be happening. As far as clubs reopening and things being back to normal, I think we have a long time.
Beebs.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think we're gonna see, you know, your Smallses and your speakeasies. Honestly, places that skew towards a younger audience. You know, like I think, you know, concerts, presenters, promoters. I think like your Jazz and Lincoln Centers, your, you know, Blue Note. Some of these places are gonna have to roll out later because their audiences are older, and you know. Like
Yeah.
Blue Note is like at any given night, half the room is international, and like I don't know if there's going to be that amount of travel.
Right.
You know, like people are
Right.
really. You know, I saw this interesting interview with this cat the other day that was around during the Spanish flu, and they were like interviewing this guy, and he was very lucid. You know, he's like almost 100 years old or something, but he was like, "Yeah, you know, people didn't really start going back to church and shaking hands until about 21 or 22." You know, and the pandemic was like what 1918 or something.
17 or 18.
Okay, so
Can't remember.
basically he said like it took years after that for like it to really be like back to normal.
Wow.
You know, like I think you look, we've all been to or Kyle, you haven't been to Shanghai. You didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh,
we've all
yeah,
been to
we've
Shanghai.
been there. Me and Cobb been there
We're
together.
together.
Kyle
So
and
we've
I.
all been to Shanghai, and like you go around China and they're wearing masks there, but that was from SARS, which happened
Right.
in like 2008,
Yeah.
and they're still wearing masks,
Yeah.
and it's 2020. So like
I don't think the masks are leaving for a long time.
we might very well
universally.
see, you know, like there will be a return to normalcy. Like clubs will be packed, concert halls will be packed, sports stadiums will be packed, but like it's gonna be a little different for good. Maybe we're gonna see masks. Like all these businesses are talking about how like they're gonna go cashless, and like they're talking about airports trying to go completely contactless, so that you can go from the curb out of your Uber to your gate and never touch a surface at all. Like every security checkpoint is going to be like, you know, they like scan your eyeball or your fingerprint or like your brain, you know, like heat detectors, like no contact, anything, you know? So I think in some ways it's just forcing our hand. You're going to see like, we're going to get like way more futuristic, you know, like Black Mirror shit. Where
Just
like,
imagine that. No waiting in line at the airport.
well, it's not, you're not going to wait in line, but
Wait in
like,
line,
No, but I'm saying like if the scanning and stuff was so amazing like that,
Yeah,
right? And it's just
yeah.
a heat scanner and it reads you like.
burp, yeah.
You know, sometimes when the
I mean, it's clear,
the
basically.
one thing
Yeah.
they send you to the one metal. It's kind of like a metal detector. It's like a full body scan, but it's
Yeah.
you know when the one's backed up, they send you to the other one. Imagine just walking through that with your bag.
Can I just say, one reason why I want to say fuck Donald Trump is that because he is vindictive and mad at New York, he took away the ability for people from New York State to register for global entry. If you already have it, you're okay. But if you want to reapply, you can't. And basically, he did it because he wants New York to like bow down to him, and Cuomo won't do it. But global entry, for those of you that don't know, if you're someone that travels like we all do, musicians, it's the greatest life
Yeah,
hack
but-
I ever had in my life, man.
Yeah, but also mobile passport is the same thing, and you could download
That's
it. It's
really
the same
true.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just any of these things like TSA pre-check.
Yeah.
Like these are all things we
So
take
fuck
for
Trump.
granted because we do it all the
I'm
time.
gonna use mobile passport.
Like there have been
Yeah.
times where
change your mailing address too. I mean,
where like you come back from Asia and it's like customs is like a 3-hour line.
Yeah.
And I have global entry, and you literally cut the
you
entire
get in the
thing.
diplomat line, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane.
Kyle, the global entry is somewhat a little bit above.
Yeah, it's
Because
crazy.
people are finding out about the mobile passport. Like one time.
At one time, it was D's. Yeah.
Wait, did we do it?
No, I had done it a couple times last year, coming back from wherever, and just like
Download it
got
right when the
through-
plane
yeah,
lands.
Yeah, downloaded it when the plane landed, and I was out of
Wow.
customs. Like
And the free version, you just like do it right
Yeah,
there, and it
boom.
works for.
I mean, nobody travels more than Cecile's band. You probably got some miles, man.
Because the global entry thing and like clear and all that, it's really only
Speaking
good
of-
at like U.S. airports. There's a couple other ones.
Oh yeah, yeah. But
Well,
I mean,
especially global entry.
just like coming back from internationally and
Maybe
not
like
having
Abu
to,
Dhabi.
when you're like jet lagged and you're so out of it, not having to like
It's so funny to see like when everybody is clearly getting off of like a 15-hour flight, and then you have like the security people being like, this line, move here. Like people are like vegetables. You know, people are like zombies, and they're just like, what? And then they're like yelling at you like, sir, step up, use this machine. Sir, where have you been? And like people always get nervous, and they're like, where have you been? And then everyone's like, you know, Shanghai. And they were like, what were you there for? And you just get all nervous.
I had that experience.
You get all nervous, and these are basic questions, but it's like, you basically just like...
Well, those customs dudes at the border are like so intense.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in China in late November, early December.
So was I. We were there at the same time.
Oh yeah, we were in China.
Yeah,
at
and
the
we were
same
texting.
time. Yeah, and like last time I went through customs in Canada, I totally forgot that I was in China, and of course that's a big deal. The customs guy was like, "You were just in China," and I was like,
oh yeah,
yeah, I forgot." And it was like, all right, he let me through, but it was kind of like a type situation.
One of those moments, where it's not sure if he... Yeah, well, that's the thing. When I came back from, with Kokoski, we were on the road in France and Italy.
dude,
and
you were like in Bologna, like
no.
the
Our
day
gig in
that they
Bologna.
were, like...
Shout out to the people in Bologna. It's awful right now, and it was getting awful then. And
They're better. I mean, Italy, they're cool. They're better now.
Yeah. Our gig in Bologna got canceled, so we had to go all the way through from the south. Elio, Dave, and I, all the way up to Bolzano, which there was like one case in that town at that time, but I think it was one of the last gigs. And then everything was getting shut down the day that we left, which was like February 29th. So March 1st, when we headed back, you and I were playing at Smalls that night, Kyle, with Charles.
Mm-hmm.
So I flew through, I went Naples.
Damn, that was March 1st?
That was March 1st.
Wow, that was so recent. Feels like ages ago.
Yeah, I know. That's what quarantine does.
Yeah.
Naples, Amsterdam, to wherever it was, JFK, Newark. And I thought they were going to, so I did the mobile passport, and I got in the line and said, "Where'd you come from just now?" I said, "Well, Amsterdam, but I can't." And before I could even say, "But I came from Naples," he's like, "Click, have a nice day." I was like, "Well,
Yeah, you
well."
should. Don't even mention Naples.
And that was the thing that Cuomo was coming on the air. He's like, the virus came from Europe during that time. And he's like, 3 million people came from Europe in February and January. And I was like, yeah. But, I did my best to always be
Let's also talk
careful
about...
as I could be. What'd you say?
Let's also talk about, like, what we think is going to happen as far as, like, I mean, most of our money comes from touring, the three of us.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Like, I do still have a tour in October that they're still trying to pull for in Europe, and they're still asking us.
Yeah, don't say who it's with. But
Of course not.
yeah, right.
But like, I'm wondering if that's gonna happen. I doubt that's gonna happen.
Doubt it.
I doubt it's gonna happen.
I mean, everything's canceled through the end of the year.
Claff, are we allowed to talk about the gig that was to happen on your birthday?
Yeah, at the Vanguard.
Oh.
Yeah, Kurt mentioned it on the
I was
podcast.
waiting for that one.
Yes.
On his birthday, the first night Claffy would ever play the Village Vanguard with Kurt Rosenwinkel, his idol, on his birthday. That was too good. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
Life had to take that from you because that would have been too amazing.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You're like too tortured of a soul to have something that perfect happen to you.
Yeah, it's so true.
You had to have it and then get it taken away. That's like the struggle of Claffy.
Yeah, exactly. That's you nailed it right. You nailed the hammer right. Or you nailed the nail.
I'm
right.
sorry, bro.
No, and it was supposed to be Kurt Rosenwinkel and Peter Bernstein, and together.
Village Vanguard Claffy debut on his birthday.
Yeah, when I got called for that, I immediately thought to myself, "There's no way this is gonna happen. It's too good."
Some global catastrophe is going to prohibit this from happening.
No, but that's a drag, but it's a very, very small thing on the world scale of what is going on right now. Obviously, it's a speck compared to what some people are going through.
Yeah.
And the way it's ravaged through the jazz community. I mean, the jazz audience right now is older.
True.
It's been older for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
All across the board,
Period.
it's older.
Period.
When do you go to a young show and you see when do you go to a jazz or
In
band
Europe,
or-
that can happen.
In Europe, that can happen for sure. But it's usually like a Christian Scott, Kamasi, certain guys are really
Right.
drawing.
I mean, you know, I mean, you go to the Duke sometimes, and like
Yeah, the Duke be
the
popping.
Duke is kind of popping.
Shout
Like,
out Sebastian Vidal if you're listening.
yeah, it's like mostly I would say young people. Maybe like you don't really see like geezers in there. You know what I mean? Like you never see a
Sometimes.
geezer. Yeah, maybe sometimes.
Old French geezers.
Old French geezers, but there's mostly I feel like young folk.
Yeah, when you go to the Duke Jam on a Friday night,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
you're a single dude.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Believe you
Had
me.
some- yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
keep it moving.
But there's no way. There's really no way for us to speculate what's going to happen with the landscape of the scene. But
Yeah.
somebody said to me today. By the way, the Zinc Bar in New York is open.
Why can't you help it, man?
What?
What is he
What are you talking about?
So the Zinc Bar in New York, we just went over there, and they're open for takeaway coffees with the social distancing
Yes.
and all that, and that's great. So we went over there and tried to support a local jazz club that's always supported us. But I mean, somebody over there had the idea of, well, what if you had 5 to 10 guys on stage, and then you had like a velvet rope, and then the audience was like,
I've seen a couple articles. They're exploring using drive-throughs as like concert venue. Like the band is on stage, socially distanced, and then it's a drive-through, and like everyone pulls up in their car and watches.
oh, you mean a drive-in?
Drive-in.
Yes. Yeah, they're all gonna go to the McDonald's drive-through.
Oh, man.
Yeah, drive-in. That's what
I
I
hadn't been to McDonald's in a decade, and I went when I was up there.
Well, dude, you were off the grid. Claffy was in the boonies for the last month and a half. It was
Nobody-
you had to like get in a car and drive 20 minutes just to get to a Walmart. That's how far out you were.
Damn, you're just out in my shit on here. I love it. No, me, but yeah. I mean, but I went to McDonald's and I had a chicken sandwich, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
It was so good.
You're like living with like this like world class chef, and yet like you had to like drive.
It was his
go to
idea.
McDonald's.
It was his idea. He wanted
Right.
to get the McDonald's. Yeah.
Nice.
So we did it. We didn't do Burger King, just the McDonald's. But yeah, drive-in. Wasn't there a picture that I saw on Facebook of like bands in Sweden and they're
Just doing the drive-in thing.
yeah. That could work, right?
Yeah.
I don't,
We'll figure it
none
out,
of us
man.
are like event planners, but you
No,
know.
we'll figure it out. Between like I said, between the apartment concerts and stuff, I feel like we're gonna be not making a lot of money, but I feel like musicians we're like roaches, man. You can't fucking crush us. Like we're gonna figure out ways to like make it
I mean,
work.
Claff, you're on unemployment, right? I got on unemployment.
Yeah, me too.
That's huge.
Yeah,
I know
that's
some
like
cats.
living in Europe,
Dude, I'm
Like,
sorry. Some New York cats, like, if you're making $600 a week getting your unemployment, that's more than like
What you were
some
making doing
musicians are
gigs.
making. Like,
It's true.
you know how many restaurant gigs you have to run around town and sweat your balls off on
For
the train,
$600?
to make
Yeah.
$600 in a week. That's like a lot of $75, $100 gigs added
Yeah,
up.
right. All added up. That's a lot of them.
You know, and you're gonna burn through 2 suits, sweating your, to
Right,
get there.
It's true.
And you gotta like take a cab from one to the other to make it on time.
Yeah,
from one, that's
like-
$25.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, unemployment for artists, it's amazing.
It's what's the thing in Paris?
Intermittence, I think, is what how they.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's why I'm learning French, man. I'm about to
Because
be out.
well,
this
you saw
motherfucker.
that article that the French put 15 million
15 million to arts.
into just for Paris.
Incroyable.
Incroyable, c'est magnifique.
Incroyable.
Shout out to our French family if they're
Yeah.
listening. All of us.
oui.
Benny and I were supposed to play jazz at Vienne.
Malheureusement, ce n'est pas maintenant. Mais peut-être dans le futur, Alex et moi, nous voyageons à Paris. Le
Amazing.
You're pretty good, man.
semaine
Yeah.
prochaine.
I don't know what that means.
In the future, we'll
I know
voyage
that, man.
there.
I know that, but semaine
sometime in the future.
Oh, potion?
Prochaine.
Hey,
Potion.
Benny.
When did you take
Fermez le bouche.
Dans l'école pour 5 ans. And my sister lived in Avignon. And my
Your
sister
sister lived in Avignon?
My sister was a double major in college, business and French. She lived in Avignon, and she like got TV channels in the house in French. So growing up, like we had like French on TV all the time.
Wow, deep.
Alex was very intimately intertwined with the French culture. You dipped. You kind of did the like Dexter Gordon, Bud Powell. Like you like moved to Paris for a second.
I'm next, bro.
You and Lawrence, man. You and Lawrence Leathers. You guys
Yeah,
were like
my man.
You guys were like
Same time.
super
I
tight
brought
in
him his
Paris.
cymbals, and then we were super tight.
And you were like the Paris rhythm section. You were like,
And
we
Seamus-
can get New York quality rhythm section in
Dude,
Paris.
it was us. It was me and Lo.
Damn.
Also, Jero Portal, great bass player over there.
Yeah.
He plays his ass off.
Yeah, I love
and him and
Oh,
Lawrence-
I mean, there's a bunch of Bar Lloyd. There's a bunch of killer musicians there, but
even you know about Barlow. You've never met him, but you know about him.
I'm just saying the fact that you and Lawrence were there together. It was like, oh shit, that's like Smalls in Paris.
Yeah,
You know?
it was dope. And Seamus being there, we weren't friends at all. And then I just asked him to play a gig with me.
You had a beret. You
Yes.
were smoking cigs, eating your baguettes.
I didn't have a beret. I never did the beret, but I definitely smoked a lot of cigarettes and drinking shitloads of
Had a
coffee.
turtleneck.
Bag. Yeah, totally. Wasn't
Had a psychotic girlfriend. You had all the classic French tropes.
Oh my god, that's super funny. Yeah, Lawrence was so happy.
Anyone that's a fan of Claffy will know everyone he's ever dated because he writes songs for all of them. So if you've seen Claffy's discography, you can deduce all of the girlfriends of his life because they all have a rock ballad named after them.
This is what happens when you have your brother on the podcast. When you have your big brother on the podcast. That's absolutely correct. There's nothing untrue about what you just said.
That's true.
It's pretty funny too. So yeah, speaking of which, shameless self-promotion like comedians do. We're gonna plug it in. My first record that both these guys are on, Claffy 1, is being re-released. It's coming back out. It was
It's a good one.
It was unavailable for a while
It's a good one.
on the internet.
I like
So
that
June
one.
5th, La Reserve Records.
I can't feel you slipping away.
Yeah.
That is a great one.
Our boy Sonny
Who
Step.
said it had to
Oh,
be
we should have had
this
Mike
way?
over, but then we would have to be distant, I guess. Also from Mike.
You gotta get.
Mike will come over,
You
man.
gotta do an episode with Mike. You gotta get him.
You gotta
on,
do, yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Though we're far apart.
He's such an incredible performer, that guy.
Two hearts.
Man, you need to do like a Philly one. You gotta get Dahi on one, man. Could you
Oh,
imagine
man.
Dahi?
Yeah, dog.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
if you don't know,
You get Dahi and Mike together, that would be.
Yeah.
I would listen to that. Oh
yeah,
my
everybody would listen to that because
God. Those dudes are hilarious.
they're the perfect
together.
like combination when they hang.
Dahi doing drums like skidoo 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 skidoo, like Dahi doing like
Yeah,
mouth
yeah,
drums.
yeah.
And
I love
Mike
the
doing
mouth-
like
mouth
sound
drums.
effects.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mike Stephenson, commonly known as Sonny
Sonny
Step,
Step.
for those of
Yeah,
you who don't know, he sang on a lot of my stuff, and
like
he's
Faulkner
worked
mouth
with
drums.
everybody here. He's incredible. So check him out, Sonny Step, and then the other guy that we're talking about is a great composer and saxophone player from Philadelphia named Dahi Divine.
Young Da.
Sleepy Da on sax.
Sleepy Da.
And yes, there was kind of this magical time where Kyle and I were at New School, and you guys were all living together at. You want to talk about the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah, I actually do want to talk about the
Yeah,
Chocolate Factory.
it's just an incredible.
You've been to a Chocolate Factory party, of course.
Dude, I live there with you guys.
You did. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Wow.
I just went back to that day.
Oh, with the gate, right?
The day that you broke the gate and ran down. Yo,
Oh, man.
So
What about the time Owen Erickson punched Claffy in the face on Halloween?
I'm sorry.
Nah, he didn't punch me in the face. He gave me dead legs, but I love you all.
I'm sorry, we're laughing because
Thanks
that
for hitting me up on
traumatized for a
Instagram.
while.
and
Claffy did
apologize.
not win that one, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, well, I wasn't
It
exactly.
was a TKO.
I wasn't exactly Mike Tyson back then.
Yeah.
Neither am I.
No, but that day the chocolate.
You got to
what
set
happened?
up the Chocolate Factory, what the Chocolate Factory
Okay,
was
okay.
for people first. Because when I describe it to people, they're like, "What?"
Yeah. So I mean, you know, in New York is not like other, you know, places where the schools and the colleges have frat houses and stuff like that because no one can afford. I mean, there are frat houses. Columbia has some frat houses, and
Yeah, there's some.
they exist, but they're not as popular as, you know, in other states, rural states and things like that. So a couple of my friends and I got a big loft that we lived in, and we would go to all the colleges in Brooklyn and also Lower Manhattan, so New School, NYU. Was the other one? The ones in Brooklyn, I forget the names of them, and we would go to the dorms into their common areas and post flyers that we were having a party, and we had a huge space with a huge back area, so we would have about 400 to 450 people each party. We would charge $5 a head, and you know, we basically make rent doing those
Wow.
parties. Yeah.
Rent parties, man.
They were rent parties,
Basically.
yeah, essentially rent parties, and we would have bands, and we have our friends DJ. We would have this band Unity that was a great band that I used to play at our parties. Our friend Renzel Merritt used to DJ the parties, and these parties used to get, for lack of a better word, groid. Like, oh my God, like, I really am happy that happened, because I can honestly say I lived my college experience to the fullest in that time. It was sick. Anyway, so where were we going with the whole thing? Can't eat chips on the podcast, bro.
This is another like very special edition where we're being informal and eating and drinking wine. It's okay for this one, but you were going to tell the story about me and the.
Oh yeah, the chocolate factory in the gate.
Yeah.
So what happened? You were standing on top of the gate, so that there was our window. Whoa, it's kind of intense. What type of aircraft is that?
I don't know, but I'm going to shut the windows so that bleed noise in.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was intense, wasn't it?
It went like that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Like
intense.
F-111? I know, we put out an F-111.
Yeah, F1, it's like the Blue Angels or something like that.
Yeah, I
Top
saw
Gun.
them
It wasn't
fly.
like a show, it was just like a jet.
Yeah,
Right.
Huge.
The danger zone.
Danger zone.
Yeah,
So-
you were standing outside of the. So there was we lived on the first floor.
Right.
There was
No, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, we lived on the first floor. There was our window, and then there was a gate right outside our window that you could stand on, and like underneath the gate, I guess, were like the air conditioners and stuff like that.
Right.
And Claffy was dancing, having a good time, probably
Yeah.
high as balls, and like just having a great time. And he was staying at our house at the time for a couple
I
months.
was never really a weed guy. I think I was just on.
You were just
the
drunk.
cheap.
Or,
You guys called it jungle juice. The stuff.
oh,
that
the
you get-
jungle juice. We used to
Yeah.
make jungle juice, which was basically Absolute and Kool-Aid.
No, absolute would be generous. This was like something.
Not Absolute. What's the other one I'm thinking about? The one that gets you fucked up. Like you just have a little bit of it.
Plastic bottle.
Okay.
Definitely plastic
Definitely
bottle
plastic
alcohol.
and Kool-Aid, and you were drunk as shit, and you were dancing outside the thing, and then you broke the gate by dancing on top of it and like fell through it. And then what I don't understand,
You're. It's not accurate the way you're telling it.
Okay,
for
well,
me,
let me finish my
but I like it.
side.
No,
though. Let
I'm
me
saying
finish my
I really
side of
enjoy
the
the story. I'm very much
You
enjoying.
fell
it.
through the gate. Our window also broke in the process of you falling through the gate. And for some reason, I don't remember why. I don't know if you pissed someone off or something, but then you proceeded to run, hop the gate out of the building, and then we never saw you again for like the next 2 days. And I didn't really understand why. I don't remember what happened as to why you ran and took the train somewhere else.
Okay. This is great that you're confirming this story and that I didn't prompt you, because I've told this story to people and they don't believe me at all. Because it's so far-fetched. Okay, you guys were having... This was one of the craziest chocolate factory parties.
Yeah.
It was really intense.
Yeah.
Like single young dudes, single young girls, craziness going on inside. I had to run up and go use the bathroom because we've been hanging for a while, but I heard Kyle kind of describe it in the background. Chocolate Factory was like, imagine, the McKibben Lofts in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Big
It was the
loft.
last hurrah of the McKibben Lofts. Now they're basically little cubicles. Now.
Really?
Yeah.
Totally gentrified at this
Totally
point, right?
gentrified. Like they're little tiny rooms that people can rent and live with other people. But
Right.
like the lofts don't exist anymore.
Oh, right. Somebody told me about
Yeah.
this.
Go ahead.
And so it was just huge lofts, so much space. So you guys split it up yourselves. They weren't even really like real bedrooms. You guys just kind of like made your own. It was kind of like a tree house.
Yeah, Zach.
It was-
Remember Zach
Oh.
Levine, Caleb? I miss Zach. I gotta give him a call.
Remember Miles White Chocolate? You guys called him?
Miles White Chocolate.
Miles, the dude with the long hair.
This is a shame. I'm not remembering.
Because he was
I
the
really
only
high in those days.
he was the only white dude he was the only white dude that lived with you guys. He had the
Miles!
I knew you'd remember.
Oh, Miles.
Yeah. So you guys called him Miles White Chocolate. And why? Tell people why you called it the Chocolate Factory. Did you already say that when I was?
Because everybody that lived there was black. It was me, Dahi,
Jahi Divine.
Johnson,
Yep.
Ben Katz, and Zach Levine Caleb. And also this dude Franco that lived there for a while.
Oh, Franco. Right.
Franco, man.
I remember Franco. Jovan literally had a barber's chair.
Yeah, we used to get our haircut there.
I was getting my hair faded.
It was
and
a
stuff.
one-stop shop, man.
Yeah, you
for
could just
everything.
get any,
Yeah.
People, you guys were just hustling. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And everybody was in school and not making any money playing gigs. Everybody was broke.
Yeah.
It was great. So,
Those are the fucking good days.
I remember we went with Jovan. We got all the booze. We went to all the girls' dorms, or
Oh, I have
all the
another story.
dorms, and we would go to just the girls' floors
Only
and
to the girls'
slip
floors
the
and slip
flyers
the
underneath
flyers,
the door,
yeah.
which worked like a charm,
Yeah.
and it was amazing. And then all
you need is girls.
and then
Guys
all
would
these
come.
dudes from Juilliard and Manhattan were showing up, like,
Yeah,
"Yo, what's
yeah.
up at the Chocolate Factory?" Like, established jazz musicians would be like, "You guys having a party at the Chocolate Factory?" It was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Like, it really.
We got written up. We got written up in a magazine. We got written up in Hot House. Which
I remember that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
They
do-
listed us as a venue.
Yeah. Yeah, which is crazy, which is great, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it's what jazz started with, rent parties.
Yeah, yeah.
So, this one particular night was crazy. It was insane.
Yeah.
And I think that was the night where you guys also had that top floor and there was like a fan up there, a metal fan, and you said,
Oh,
don't
that
go
one.
up there.
Yeah,
And
and then
this
they
young
were
couple
having-
was
they were
hooking
having
up
sex
up there,
up there,
and the fan hit the girl in the head.
and
Let's
then-
not even bring that up because somehow you guys escaped from that without
Yeah.
without a lawsuit.
Yeah, I know.
Which
We
is
didn't get sued or
crazy.
anything.
Yeah, so it was crazy. It was totally packed.
Yeah.
The cops hadn't been called, but anyway, there was a line for the bathroom. This is where the story starts. There was a line for the bathroom that was like insanely long, like incredibly long, and I was drunk, so I wasn't going to wait for it. So I didn't have keys when I was living there at the time. You guys let me kind of live there,
Right.
or I just finished, and I think I just
That reminds me of something.
just gotten my spot up in. Oh yeah, with like the groceries. Yeah, no, we're leaving that out.
No, I might tell that story.
No, well, no, you can.
You can edit it out if you want, but I'm telling the
No,
story.
but that's you can't tell that story.
Let the record show. Let the record show. Tell the story.
No, you
People need
can't.
to know.
You
This is
can't.
what you wanted, Claffy. You wanted a podcast.
Oh,
This
man.
is it. You got
This is-
Kyle drinking.
Yeah,
Let's
we
go.
got-
But this is also the old days of clapping. But go, just go.
Yeah, but I'm gonna edit it out either way.
You just tell
So
Yeah, but I got the voice memo on my phone, so.
right, exactly. So you
Go ahead,
can,
Kyle.
you can put me on WikiLeaks.
Claffy leaks.
Yeah, Claffy leaks, right? So, okay, yeah. So the party's going on. Way too drunk. Way too long of a line for the bathroom. I used to get into the apartment by going in the backyard, which was abandoned, and climbing up that. It was like
So I didn't know that. I didn't
large
know that at
grate.
all.
There was like no, you did at the time for sure. I used to climb in through the window. Yeah, a lot of people that were living there, like Jovan or Mike, used to climb in through the window when they forgot their keys. Everybody was forgetting their keys all
I
the time.
never ever did that, but okay.
Yeah, but they were all forgetting their keys, so they used to climb in that way. So I did it. So I knew how to climb down. So I was like, I'll just climb down and I'll just take a piss in the back and everything will be cool. And I didn't realize that people had been climbing down that thing all night.
All night.
And so I took one step, two step,
Okay.
and it fell apart, the grate, and it fell into the windows of the apartment
Yeah,
below us.
broke.
It broke.
Oh, and the window, the apartment below. You're right.
Oh, it broke a set.
Oh, that's why you ran.
No. So that's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
It broke a set of windows,
You're
not like 8 windows,
Right.
and it broke the huge grate. And they were having a party
How
downstairs.
did they ever charge us for that?
They
either?
were they did.
They did?
They were having a party downstairs at the same time.
Oh, yeah, they
so
were
I
having their own
walked
party.
into the backyard of their party and broke all the windows at the same time. So I just immediately started running as fast as I could, and they were chasing me with a flashlight, and they were going to beat the shit out of me.
Really?
So I climbed a 20-foot.
Yeah, that gate was tall as shit.
I climbed a 20-foot fence with barbed wire at the top, drunk, got over the top of it. I scurried up like a rat, like all the way up, got over the barbed wire and was not injured at all.
Wow.
I unscathed. And then I ran for and I ran to that deli over near the train station.
Right.
And you and Martina walked in just by chance. And you guys
Really?
were like, holy shit, what happened? And I
Me
said,
and Martina.
so I left and I went uptown, and I think I had moved uptown at that point. And then the next day I called you guys. I said, "Oh, we're going to settle this." And then we worked it out. And, you know, I think I bought.
I kind of remember it a little differently. I remember it maybe being like 4 or 5 days before we heard back from you.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I was really scared.
Yeah, you were terrified.
Yeah, but then we worked it out. And I paid some. You guys paid some. The landlord cut a deal. I borrowed some money.
Yeah.
It all worked out. But the chocolate factory was
I
crazy.
think the neighbors were cool though, because I don't remember them like being pissed at us.
I don't think it was a window that was right into there. But anyway, just to say that the chocolate factory and the vibe of the chocolate factory, the way everybody was going to new school and everybody was broke as shit and working together to make it work.
Yeah.
It's amazing
Yeah.
that we were doing that. And that,
So, Chocolate Factory Quarantine Part 2 fucking coming right at you, 2020.
right, exactly. Home venue stuff. And you've been getting on the vibe of like, I saw one week you had like 6 live stream gigs, Ben.
Well, you know, it's pretty lo-fi. I'm not Emmett Cohen Studios, you know, like he got like the whole rig set up. But
And the mixer
it's, you
and
know,
everything.
basically it's like a musician like DIY survival kit. Like get yourself an interface, you know, get a microphone that you can plug into the computer. I use GarageBand. Like I'm not even like
use that
pro
much
at
of
all, you know? It's like, but it's like the most like any idiot could do this, and you can get it to sound passable. I use this app Video Leap. I've been editing videos for people like, you know, remotely, where like everyone records their part in their apartment.
right.
You can use like picture in picture, like everyone's doing that now. And I edit those with 2 thumbs on my phone,
Right.
you know, and just like sliding shit around, experimenting, and like you know, for what it is, like you're putting out content. It only has to be good enough for people to watch it on their phones,
Right.
hear it on their phones, you know, as they're scrolling by. So, you know, yeah, you churn out content. Just like nobody's getting paid to do stuff, but you can still like, you know, give your audience something to be engaged with and remind people you're out here, you know. So, like it said, it goes back to what I said before. It's just like anything that like gives you purpose when you wake up and like gives you a reason to like,
to keep going.
you know, to put your mind towards something and try and stay sharp. It's like, but all these like, you know, things are like Band-Aids. They're like stopgap things. Like I've mentally prepared myself for like to do this for like a few months.
Right.
Like to do it. Okay, what? So the whole year is going to be gone? Okay, fine. I can like mentally prepare for that. But the thing that gets me is when it's just like open-ended, when it was like, oh, I thought we were just supposed to flatten the curve and then it would be cool. But now we flatten the curve and now it's like everybody still has to stay inside all the time. And it's like, maybe the fall, maybe the whole year's gone. You know what? Probably the fall of 2021. And it's just like, I'm like mentally
God,
preparing
hopefully
myself
not
for like,
that.
I can do this for this amount of time. I can wrap my brain around that. But it's like all these little like side projects are going to get real old if it's like another year goes by and like we're still doinking around like, you know, making little videos in our apartments. I'm just going to go crazy. Like I can't do it for a year and a half, you know.
I don't think it's going to be that long. Man.
Especially people that are like really performers.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, all jazz musicians are performers, but you're like, man, you're in there with the crowd, your music, you're thinking about the audience, you're all in there. This whole thing about performing, it gives you life, dude, when I watch it happen.
Yeah, man.
So, like, you just don't get, I mean, there's nothing like that, dude.
There's people are wired differently. Some people are like, you know, extroverts and introverts. Like some people get their energy sapped by being around other people.
Right.
And other people literally are like charged up by that. And I'm definitely that type of person. Like hanging out with people is like, that's my life force. When I'm alone is when I get really lethargic and just, ugh.
Yeah, same. I'm the same way.
So it's tough, but
You kind of do both.
Yeah, I go in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's day by day.
And that's what I dig about you, you know, especially lately, you've just been transparent and honest. Like, no, today's my day
Yeah.
to do my thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if I go 3 or 4 days with too many people, then it's like, all right, I got to take 1 or 2 days of like not seeing anyone.
Yeah. And just having, you know, they say, oh, you need your own space, but you literally do need your own space.
Yeah.
And you have to have variety of this stuff,
Yeah.
or else it's like anybody's going to get sick of it,
Yeah.
you know? But there's cool stuff. Like Farnsworth is doing those videos about all the jazz masters.
Yeah.
Really
great.
cool.
It's great.
Carl Allen.
Carl Allen's weekly thing is great.
Really?
Oh man, it's awesome.
I haven't checked it out. What's he talking about?
Drummer porn.
He just plays records. He has a theme every week, and he plays records that you probably haven't heard
Jason
before.
Brown releasing all the drum goodness.
The drum goodness.
Yeah, man.
I haven't even started to go through that. I mean, I've been watching
The
Charlie.
rudiments.
Charlie
stuff.
Gould's putting stuff
Yeah,
out.
their Bop Chops is like their
Yeah.
thing every week, right?
Claffy, you're doing the master classes?
Yeah, I'm just doing them on Zoom, and then they're kind of like suggested donation, and I'll probably I'll go on Insta every once in a while and just play bass.
Right.
Say, hey, I'm teaching lessons. If anybody,
Right. Yeah.
And I wrote for the grants, but I got some of them.
Louis
shit.
Armstrong, man.
I got one. I got Louis Armstrong.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Louis
me too.
Armstrong.
Thank you, Louis.
You know,
Thank
that
you,
was,
Wynton Marsalis.
Yeah, thank you, Wynton.
Yeah.
That was from Wynton, and also thank you to Louis Armstrong because that was literally from his estate.
No way.
That money was from Louis Armstrong's estate. He's taking care of jazz musicians today in 2020, 100 years later.
That is incredible.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And I think he wrote it in his will that like, if for this type of situation, he wants to have something to give.
Pops so deep.
Yeah, deep.
Claffy, you're a conspiracy theorist. Are there any compelling conspiracies about Louis Armstrong?
Not that I know of.
Well, there's a conspiracy around like when his birthday was.
Oh, yeah,
He says
yeah.
he was born on the 4th of July, but like they have some, from like the boys' orphanage that he was. There's some
Right.
birth certificate that says he was like born in June.
Yeah,
or
but then
something.
also a lot of black people like, where was he born?
St. Louis, right?
Yeah, a lot of black people like
Right?
at that time had funky.
Damn. I'm not the one with the controversial moment on the podcast now. You got to look it up.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, they had
Pretty sure Bob was St.
funky,
Louis,
funky
so.
birth.
Yeah, funky
Dates
birth.
and-
Dude, totally. Yeah. Wow. Louis Armstrong just took care of all of
Took
us.
care of all of us.
Oh,
literally. Pops.
he actually was from a
Straight
place
up.
called
New Orleans, dude.
Oh, it was. Yeah, I mean, I feel ridiculous.
Wasn't he born in Connecticut?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jesus. So,
Yeah. Oh well, this says biography.com says he was born on August 4th, but I always heard 4th of July.
Well, it could be one of those things where he's like, the paper says August 4th, but my mama says that it was July 4th.
yeah.
Wow. Education, the Colored Waifs Home for Boys. That's the name of the school where like he started playing trumpet.
Yeah.
Deep.
Different.
Yeah, I read a book about him when I was really young about his early life is
Yeah.
fascinating. Yeah, what an incredible force.
Let's hope this shit doesn't happen for a year and a half. You scare me with that, Vinny. I
Yeah.
don't think so. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think it's gonna. I don't think our lives
Okay,
are
if
gonna
all
be
the
the
if
same.
all the clubs were closed for a year and a half, cats are still going to find a way to congregate and make music and,
music
get that
and
good
play.
feeling.
Yeah,
That's going to happen.
that's all I care about. I just want to be around
That's all
the cats.
you can. That's all you can care about because
Yeah.
that's actually something that's in your control. We have no control over the
Yeah.
economy.
No.
We have no influence
No.
on any of that.
No,
Maybe.
I just want to see the cats. I want to play with the cats. I want to
Yeah.
congregate with them.
Totally.
It's not even about the money. Like, we'll figure that out. But like,
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing how cool people have been. Like sometimes I'll hit somebody up to do a track or lay down
Right.
some drums when all this is going on.
yeah, it's just,
No, man, it's cool. I got it. I know how it is, bro.
yeah,
It's cool.
Yeah.
And that's what I tried to do with the masterclass too. I was like, I'm going to teach these masterclass. I mean, I'm just showing them Sam Jones and Israel Crosby and stuff that I
Right.
really love to nerd out on.
all right.
And I'll say whatever this is the suggested donation. Most people follow it because they're cool and they get that we're all in different situations.
Right.
But yeah, I mean that's still blowing my mind that Louis Armstrong just took care of us all in that way. There were a bunch of other grants that got tapped out right away too.
Yeah.
Big time, yeah.
I
Like
didn't
within
get any
a day.
other ones. That was the only one I got.
Yeah, Music Cares is great.
I didn't
Cats,
get
check
Music
that out.
Cares.
I got Music Cares.
You got Music Cares? I didn't get Music Cares, and I didn't get Jazz Roads.
I got Young Arts too. I did not get Jazz Arts.
I didn't
Jazz Coalition, they just announced their first round. They like commissioned a bunch of people to write tunes.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah,
That's
like-
the Winter Jazz thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a controversy over that.
Why?
Let's not talk about it on the podcast.
Why? Why not?
Okay, sure. All right. So
Nick Payton was the last episode. We got into some real stuff.
they apparently like only commissioned the people that like are associated because they released, which I think is first of all the wrong thing to do is they released the names of the people that they chose.
Well, it was like you have to be
commissioned.
nominated by someone. I thought.
Oh, I don't know how it works.
Like, I'm pretty sure you had to be
But
nominated.
someone wrote like an article or something about like how they were pissed that like they only helped basically the people that like were in their circle.
Right. Well, I mean, I
Within
guess
That makes sense though to me.
It
I'm
makes
not
sense
mad at
on
that.
its face. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that like it's a whatchamacallit. You have to be nominated by someone. But then it does that
What was it?
it's questionable. Like, how is it that like 2/3 of the lists are all people that are like in their crew?
Right.
You know.
This is in
Maybe it
relate-
doesn't look great.
break this down for me and our listeners because I don't.
What?
What was this whole thing about?
There's a commission. There was a commission grant for pandemic relief. So basically, like you can sign up for pandemic relief, but if they give you the money, you also have to create something. And it was kind of associated with. I don't want to be the one to say this, but whatever. It was kind of associated with.
If it's already being discussed on
Yeah.
social media, then it's
That's true.
out there.
That's true.
Yeah.
It is kind of associated with or is associated with the Winter Jazz label, or not label, but just heading. And they only chose. Some people were upset that they only chose, even though the application was for everyone. When they released the list, they only chose people that have obviously been used by Winter Jazz.
Right. Nepotism, essentially.
Yeah.
Potential nepotism. It's not like necessarily.
Yeah.
You know,
So then, I mean,
confirmed.
at that point, the question is like, why put out the application at all? Why don't you just commission those people to?
Well, I guess if there's more rounds, the next round
Yeah,
will be
yeah.
another 25 people that are outside their circle.
Right.
Maybe.
And I'm sure after all this controversy, it will be a little bit different. Yeah.
There was some bass player that I just looked up. I got to remember who it is, but he plays on a bunch of records that we all love, and he's the reason that they had blind auditions for orchestras. Because
Really?
yeah, he's a black bass player. This is maybe 40s or 50s. I'm not recalling it that well, but he moved on and he got a law degree. And Art Davis. Art Davis was like a doctor or a lawyer or something, and he was a great, fantastic technician. And I started getting back into him because I heard somebody tell this story about George Coleman on Farnsworth's video about Max Roach. He tells that story about playing with Max at Newport, and that Art Davis slammed his finger in the car door when they got out of the car at Newport, and he crushes it. It's an amazing record, just like Max Roach at Newport. But then I was like, let me get back into Art Davis. Of course, like Coltrane and Second Day of Love Supreme, Africa Brass, all that stuff. And he filed a lawsuit or something, or it has something to do with the reason that there were blind auditions for orchestras because, which is some pretty deep stuff. Well, if the listeners could only see the look on Benack's face right now, it pretty much just describes quarantine. You were just like in a deep haze of like,
yeah.
well, we all want something definite, right? We all want a definite plan. We all want something to grab onto, all these definites, but we can't.
You can't have them. It's okay.
So you can only control what's in your control.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta
That's it.
control the little day-to-day, things that you have agency over, like you said, Claff, and you can't, you can't zoom out too much, or you start to go crazy. So
Yeah.
You just, put the magnifying glass on your day-to-day shit, and just try and,
But and also have some semblance of, if you can, have some semblance of hope.
Oh man, hope.
Hope.
Eternal optimist
Yeah.
over here. Like we will be back. We will be
Yeah.
shaking. We will be rocking. I don't know when, and it might be, the herd will have been thinned out a little bit. Like I don't know if like every jazz club is gonna survive, but like new ones will pop. It's New York,
Yeah.
We'll be cool, I'm more worried about more like urban, like rural areas, where there's like one gig in town, like what if Con Alma, the jazz club in Pittsburgh, like what if they can't sustain it? They opened last spring. They're a new business venture, and they were killing but they're a tiny club. Like the front room maybe fits like 30, 35 people, and their whole business model is based on packing people in. And they're the only jazz club, dedicated jazz club in Pittsburgh. And if like they're gone, they don't have like a Smalls. Pittsburgh doesn't have 12 clubs that will be there come hell or high water, you know? So I worry about places like that. Like New York's going to be cool. Yeah. Jazz in New York is going to be cool. We're literally living in the capital of the universe for jazz music, you know? But there's a lot of other places where it's not as, you know, the fertilizer isn't as rich as it is here. And a lot of those places, it's going to be a different landscape. It's already hard enough, like, trying to piece together a tour. Like, you go out with Emmett. I don't know how he does it. It's like, if you want to keep a band out on the road in 2020, it's like, all right, we're doing this school master class on Monday, and then on Tuesday we're going to play at this lady's house. And then on Wednesday, you know, we're going to do this thing at a synagogue. And then Thursday we'll make it to a jazz club. And then you get to the weekend and you can play some gigs. And then it's like, what do you do on the road Monday through Wednesday? Yeah. You know, it's like, that was pre-corona. Like, what's it going to be like now? Like, see, now you got me zooming out, and now I'm like getting dark again. Like,
if you keep zooming out like that, you'll just get. And the thing also, it totally affects all tiers of music monetary income. Yeah. Like, it affects people like Herbie and Chick, let alone Rihanna and Coldplay. Dude, like long before us.
Chick Corea just rolled out like basically a Patreon.
Really?
Not Patreon, but like on his own website. It's like, damn, if Chick Corea like needs a subscription service, I'm like, we're really in trouble if Chick Corea needs patrons. Like, my gosh.
Right. Or maybe he doesn't even need it. I mean, maybe need. You know what I mean? Maybe he's just like rolling out something for the sake of.
Well, you know, he is a Scientologist, and you know the bills do come the end of the month for that. The higher you go up the food chain, there, the more you know Zebdron X7000, you know, in the universe comes after you, and you need to clear all the thetans out of your system, and that costs a lot of money. So Chick needs to go subscription based. Gosh.
That was good.
Oh, man.
It's like, side note, like, and that was the last anyone ever saw Benny Benack. You know? Scientologist made me disappear after that.
Right, yeah, they did. Well, it's been fantastic having you guys here, and, you know, rather than get autobiographical, everybody can check out your, you know, don't do that. Don't play the guitar.
Go ahead, Clive.
No, I actually have theme music that comes in here, Benny. So if you just put down the guitar. Sorry. Do you guys have anything that you want to plug that's going on for you guys? My record's coming out June 5th. It's already been out. Check it out. And I'm doing other stuff.
Dude, you got Monday nights with Emmett, man. That's a pretty hot ticket.
I mean, yeah, Monday nights at Emmett's crib. Also, Russell's one, Bessie Sundays.
Big Love, right?
Big Love.
Not to be confused with the HBO miniseries about polygamists, also entitled Big
Love.
I
have watched that.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, Russell, wow, Big Love. Like, what's going on over there on Sundays? Like, yeah. I got a live stream coming up on Thursday, June 25th for Jazz Lincoln Center.
Nice.
With Emmett. You know, Claffy, you used to live up in Harlem with us, man. You abandoned us for greener pastures down here in Chelsea. Yeah, but we're sitting in the middle of the penthouse here at Alec Claffy's, but up in Harlem, you know, with the cockroaches and the rats, me and Kyle and Russell, we all live up there. Although Emmett's got a very nice place in Harlem. He does. So
yeah.
We're lucky we all live together, so it's like, you know, thank God for that. That's one little piece of sanity, being able to, like, play with you guys, you know.
5-minute walk from each other, really.
Yeah, 5-minute scooter.
Hey, Claff, you can always come back up to, you know, come back up to the heights.
I saw John the other day for the first time since he moved to New York.
Wait, who?
That was nice. John Batuye.
Oh, you saw him on the street?
Yeah, someone on the street.
Oh, wow. Oh, because, the apartment building, right? Yeah. He's in your old
apartment.
He's in my place. He loves it.
Who else is living there?
I still got
him and his girl. That's it.
My French.
Him and his girl?
You got to practice your French?
He's going to help me.
He's going to help you
practice.
practice.
It's in the back bedroom, or it's like a studio or something?
It's just kind of... They're just
good for them.
They're taking the whole place, though.
Good for them. And the bed bugs are gone.
Crazy
right?
time to just move to New York
Claffy,
or move anywhere for that.
I remember because I had Dion Kerr move in with Claffy because Dion, a great bass player from Miami, ended up living with me in my apartment. But like I was trying to link them. Claffy needed a roommate. Dion was moving to New York.
Oh,
and basically, like the days before, it was really messed up. Like Claffy, you were on the road. I think you were in Doha, right? Claffy was in Doha in the Middle East doing the Lincoln Center gig, and Dion had to basically move into the apartment while Claffy was gone. But they got bed bugs like while Claffy was gone. So Dion was like, in his classic New York slumlord, where like the superintendent is non-existent, is
that dude,
horrible.
what's his
The
name?
landlords
Hector or
are
some shit?
horrible. They don't want to help.
Hernando.
So like Dion's like trying to like move in his shit, and like he has to like call the bed bug exterminators, and like also like your mom had to like get involved somehow. Like I remember that shit show. And then Dion finally was just like, dude, like I'm dipping, man. Like I don't want to live there. And then he just moved down the street, lived with us, and kind of left you high and dry to come back from Doha and have to deal with all that shit.
Yeah, we won't get into that. I got my money back. We were all good, but
Nice. Well, Joe Claffy, Papa Joe Claffy is he's a lawman, so
yeah, he's
you got to wake up pretty early in the morning to get one past the old Claff.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Claffy, man.
Oh man.
Shout out to Papa Joe Claffy.
Papa Joe, we love you.
He's shedding his 251s and
Nice, man.
doing entertainment law. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, stay fresh until next week. Please take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Wear that mask. Wash those hands. Kyle Poole and Benny Benack, be sure to check out their respective records and all that kind of stuff that's out there. Kyle's kind of you're thinking about doing you're kind of like working on one now, right?
Not particularly.
No, but like at home, you're doing.
Yeah, I'm making shit.
Do you have a producer name?
Yeah, we should drop that on here before we leave.
Oh, man.
DJ
Are we gonna
KP?
come up with it right now?
DJ
No, that's
KP?
whack. That's whack.
That's whack. Okay, cool.
Poole and the gang.
Yeah, that's the band name.
That's the band name. Yeah, that's been. All right, well, we're gonna sign off until next week. Check out BB3. What is it? Benny Benack Jazz.
Kiddie Pool. What about Kiddie Pool?
You just had to bring that one up, did you?
Yeah, was it BennyBenack3.com?
I kind of like it, actually.
Kiddie Pool is kind of a vibe. Yeah, come on.
kind of like it.
Yeah, Kiddie Pool, dude.
Thanks, Mike.
Kiddie Pool. Yeah, was that Spike's original?
That was Spike's
Yeah, that was Spike.
original.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like that's how it came about. Like I posted like one week that I was playing at Smalls for the late night.
Yeah.
And then he in the comments was like Kiddie Pool.
I kind of like
Kiddie
that,
Pool's
man. I gotta
playing.
say, that's cute.
I believe he.
But I was like 18, 19.
He
so
also.
I was a Kiddie Pool.
He coined also Poole and the Gang, I think.
He might have.
I mean, Cool and the Gang really coined it, but Spike.
I mean,
He might have.
Alrighty,
We
well,
love you, Spike.
we love you, Spike. Everybody take care, and please stay safe, and
peace and blessings.
peace and blessings. See you guys later.